what bearings are. We saw that bearings are written in two forms: compass bearing and 3-point bearing. In this video, we are going to consider how to write compass bearings and represent them on diagrams. So let's learn more about compass bearings. Compass bearings are based on the four main cardinal points. The four main cardinal points are north, south, east, and west. So in writing compass bearings, we use these four main cardinal points. We use the letter N to represent north, the letter S to represent south, and the letter E to represent east, the letter W to represent west. These are the points used in compass bearings. Examples are N 70 degrees W and S 10 degrees E. So N 70 degrees W is read as north 70 degrees west, and S 10 degrees E is read as south 10 degrees east. So when you see N, it means north, W means west, S means south, and E means east. How do we represent these bearings on diagrams? The angles, in representing these bearings on diagrams, the angles are measured either from the north or the south. This information is very, very important. We are going to use it as we learn how to represent compass bearings on diagrams. Let's take some examples. Represent the flowing graphically, or represent the flowing on diagrams. And we have been given 4 questions here. We will take them one after the other and solve it. So we take the first question, north 60 degrees east. North 60 degrees east. How do we represent this on the diagram? Now, when we are given the question like this, the first letter gives you an indication of where you have to start. Then the second letter gives you an indication of the direction in which you have to move. So the first one is north, which means that we are starting from the north. Then the next one is east, which means that we are moving towards the east. So in this case, we'll be moving from the north in this direction towards the east. The angle gives you the angle which you are supposed to turn. So we are starting from the north, we are moving towards the east, and we are supposed to turn 60 degrees. Don't forget that between the north and the east, the total angle there is 90 degrees. So the total angle between the north and the east is 90 degrees. And we are supposed to turn 60 degrees. So total angle between north and east is 90 degrees. Total angle between south and east is 90 degrees. Total angle between south and west is 90 degrees. And total angle between north and west is also 90 degrees. Okay. So if you are clear on that, let's move on. So we are measuring from the north towards the east, and we are moving, or we are turning 60 degrees. So that is what you do. You draw a small arc, or an arc that represents 60 degrees, then you draw a line through it. So you draw a line from the center, passing through the tip of the arc, and you indicate that by an arrow. Then you write the name of the angle here. So we have been able to represent this bearing, north 60 degrees east, on a diagram. Let's move on to the next one. North 85 degrees west. So as I said, the first one gives you an indication of where you are starting from. So you are starting from the north. The next one gives you an indication of where you are supposed to move towards. You are starting from the north and you are moving towards the west. So it means that in this bearing, you will be moving in this direction, from the north towards the west. Okay. Now, the angle gives you an indication of how much you are supposed to turn. So we are moving from the north towards the west, and we are turning 80 degrees. Once again, between the north and the west, the total angle there is, sorry, we are turning 85 degrees. Between the north and the west, the total angle there is 90 degrees. So 85 degrees will be something close to the west since it's getting closer to 90 degrees. So you draw your arc from the north in towards the west and you make sure that it represents 85 degrees since you will not be drawing it to scale. So after you are done with that, you draw a line through it as you can see from here. Then you indicate on the line, you write this arrow on the line to indicate that this is the bearing. So we have 85 degrees, which is the name of the angle or the value of the angle that you write it there to indicate that one also. We move on to the next one. The next one is south 45 degrees west. So this means that we are starting from the south and we are moving towards the west. So in this bearing too, it means that our angle will be moving in this direction. So we move from the south towards the west. Okay, so let's move on. And we are supposed to turn 45 degrees. Now 45 degrees is half of 90 degrees. So you make sure that your arc that you draw represents half of the total angles here. Since between the south and the west, the total angle there is 90 degrees. So the arc should represent something about half. Okay, after you are done with that, you draw your line through here and you indicate the arrow sign on it. Don't forget to write the name of the angle there. Let's consider the last example. We have south 10 degrees east. So this one also means that we are beginning from the south and we are moving towards the east. So we'll be moving in this direction. So from the south towards the east. And we are supposed to turn 10 degrees. So from the south, we turn 10 degrees. Since 10 degrees is very small, you see that I've drawn a very small arrow. Then you draw the line through it like this. You indicate your arrow here. Then 10 degrees, you indicate your 10 degrees here. So since 10 degrees was small, I drew a small arc. Then from there, you draw your arrow and you indicate the name of the angle on it like this. So you see, it's very